Hey, it's Clay at claytrader.com. This will be my top 10 stocks as we head into Thursday, October 21st. This will be a technical analysis breakdown. So if you're somebody that uses charts within your trading, or maybe you're just interested in learning more about charts, you're new and you're just curious to see how they can work and how they can be used to help make good decisions as a trader, then this will be a video for you. And then quickly, before I get started, I do want to personally invite you to get signed up for this free live class that I'm offering on Thursday. So if you're liking what you see, you want to learn more about technical analysis and charts and how they can be used as a tool to make the good decisions, to build consistency, then get signed up for the class. If you're watching on YouTube, there's a link down in the description box. If you're watching at my site, claytrader.com, then there's an area right on the webpage there that you can click on. So just keep that in the back of your mind. And if you're liking what you see, then I definitely want you to get signed up. First stock here, ticker symbol WISH, and this has been a very popular one in the past. Kind of went to sleep. I think a lot of people forgot about it, but today was one of those days where it said, hey, remember me, as the volume came pouring in and the price reacted very nicely with it. Now, to be fair, yesterday, actually, the volume started to pour in late day, and I should note I'm doing the 30-minute time frame, meaning each one of these candlesticks, as they're called, represents 30 minutes worth of time. So actually, this volume bar right there represents 30 minutes from back on Tuesday, where, late day near the bell, the volume came pouring in, price reacting, nicely with it. And then today, the price just continued on up. So more of the story, a lot of people are going to be watching this one here headed into Thursday, and we have ourselves a nice technical pattern here. So let's get this pattern here drawn into play. First part of this pattern just going to be the resistance trend line of it. So generally speaking, that's kind of denoting the fact that, the price has been drifting downwards. And I don't mean that in a it's game over type of way, but just in a very general point of view, which would make sense. I mean, that's been a very big gain. So you expect profit takers to show up. And right now that's what's going on, a little bit of a pullback there. But then the other part of this pattern would be this support portion right there. And let's just make this nice and symmetrical. There we go. And let me change this to actually green to represent the bullish part of the pattern. And then as far as the overall pattern is concerned, and make this the easiest, let's just make this one color. So again, we have resistance, we have the support, and then we have the momentum move right there, which is what forms the pull portion of the pattern. Then for you golfers out there, let's put the golf hole down there. This would be known as a bull pennant pattern. So specifically, 30-minute time frame, bull pennant pattern. Big question mark moving forward now is just who is ultimately going to win out. Are the bulls going to win out by getting continuation to the upside, or are the bears going to win out by pushing the downside of the pattern? That all remains to be seen. But at the end of the day, it is a bullish pattern, which doesn't guarantee that it's going to keep moving higher. But you got to like the odds that as long as this goes through a healthy consolidation, that this can continue to build upon the momentum. But let's see what happens on Thursday. Next one here, ticker symbol SESN, and I really like this one just because there's just such a well-defined area, and that's important because when lots of people around the world are watching the same levels and wondering the same thing, call it a self-fulfilling prophecy, call it whatever you want, it can produce some very dynamic movements. Now, it's not guaranteed to happen. There are no guarantees, but it becomes an area where it's definitely valid. It's definitely a logical and rational thought to have of, hey, if the price breaks that level, I think a lot of people could start buying because, well, in technical jargon, that would be a breakout. And the level here that I think every breakout player and their brother's uncle is going to be watching is going to be right there at $1.42. You can see that on a couple instances, the price got up around that area, momentum disappeared, tried again in the afternoon, momentum disappeared. So I'm not saying that level can't be broken. I'm just saying that level now sticks out like a sore thumb. So it's a valid thought that if the price can return back up there and then get the break up through it, that break in and of itself could very well create quite a bit of upwards buying pressure. So $1.42, definitely a very big and I think well observed level moving forward. As far as areas of support are concerned, so if you like to try to play pullbacks more, an interesting pullback point down there right around the $1.24 mark. But I think most eyes are going to be on that $1.42 mark. So let's see if the price can consolidate out and then give it another go, and maybe this time actually break above it and continue on with the momentum. Next one here, ticker symbol AMC, and the downwards drift here continues, and just a couple of updates. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of that. Yes, that level still pertains at 42.50 as an area of resistance, but the more relevant and near-term level of resistance is just based on a foundational rule in charting, which states when levels of support are broken and closed below, they tend to act as resistance, and that is exactly what's going on here. For those of you that have watched past top 10 videos, you've heard me talk about that purple line being an area of support, but late day on Tuesday, the price broke down below there. So at that point, again, according to just general technical analysis rules, you'd expect that area to then act as resistance. And sure enough, wouldn't you know it, price bounced up early today, and then got rejected right there at that purple line. So not saying that that purple line, will never ever allow the price to get back above it. I'm just saying it makes sense why the price did stumble around at that area, and that moving forward, that 50-period moving average, again, that purple line currently valued at 41.80 is going to be the main area of resistance to keep an eye on in the near term. So keep a close eye on that. As far as levels of support are concerned, what I'm very curious about here is right now have potential double bottom setup here at $40.30. You can see that earlier today, bounced off it once, bounced off it again for the second time. So now the big question becomes, all right, is this double bottom going to actually be a double bottom and get some more momentum and carry it upwards? So right now, a potential double bottom reversal is in play. Now, of course, that could disappear if the price comes down there and then it just crashes down through that area. But as of now, that hasn't happened. So it's at least a valid, it's at least a rational thought to think, all right, maybe we have some sort of double bottom bounce underway here. So it'll be very interesting to see if this pattern can develop over the next couple of days. Next one here, ticker symbol CEI, and the markets are actually open for just a few more minutes, which I bring that up because we have some awesome action right now as I speak. Last 30 minutes, you can see the volume has returned. The price is actually getting a nice candle here, and it's doing battle as we speak with this red line here, which I've talked about in past top 10 videos as the main area of resistance right there at $1.80. So now, regardless of where the price closes, that's not really going to change anything, because even if the price closes slightly above $1.80, you still got to throw out the question of, okay, is this actually a true break where the price just, slightly gets above a level and then falls or not? But the big and important thing is that's a good question to be asking, right? Because you can't be asking that question unless the price is actually up above that level or near the level, and that's the case right here. So point here being, regardless of where the price closes, $1.80 going to be a very important level, because as we're witnessing right now, the price just keeps on fluctuating right around that level. So even if this thing closes at $1.82, $1.83, yeah, you still want to be a little skeptical. Again, that's a good question to be asking because the breakout has happened. So when you're saying, okay, breakout has occurred, but is this a true breakout? Well, hey, that's still a good, solid question to ask. So keep a close eye on $1.80 right there. And then as far as supports, the power of charts, you just can't make this stuff up. This will mean more to those of you that watch past top 10 videos. But hopefully you remember me talking about that green line. And wouldn't you know, right where the price collapsed, found support, and has now made a very nice bounce. So, talk about a good real-life example on the power of technical analysis and why I believe all traders, should use charts and have charts in their trader tool belt. But point being that green line there remains that area of support, and good to see that did indeed act as support earlier on in the day. But yeah, all eyes going to be on that $1.80 mark, so let's see how it continues to play out. Next one here, ticker symbol PINS, Pinterest, and had some big news today. A lot of speculation, a lot of drama, which is always good in regards to PayPal. But from a technical point of view, we got what we actually want. We got crazy volume, which is always nice. And then we have a nice little pattern here, which again does have that self-fulfilling prophecy attribute to it, which I would argue, and I think, again, this is not some sort of great discovery on my part. I'm thinking a whole lot of people are watching that $64 mark. You can see that was the open of that candle. Then there was the big crazy pullback. But when the price did bounce back upwards, that's right where it ultimately, ran out of steam and momentum once again. So I think there's going to be a lot of breakout players watching, wondering, and again, rightfully so, can the price get up above $64? And if it can, is there going to be the self-fulfilling prophecy aspect where it gets it, moving and the momentum headed up that much more? Again, no guarantees, but certainly a rational and valid thought process to have. If you're somebody that likes to play pullbacks more, then an interesting pullback point in my mind, down there right around $59.25. So keep an eye on that. But yeah, it is a valid question, and I'm wondering, or is this thing just going to start to chop around back and forth between these two ranges here? That's always a possibility too. But if you do enjoy playing breakouts, then it's hovering right below a potential big breakout point right there. So certainly worth at least keeping an eye on. Next one, BBIG, and no need to beat around the bush. Very, very rough day. Very, very rough past couple of days. This thing was looking so good. Made the breakout and then now come back downwards. But to look at the glass as half full, at least the price so far is respecting a very key level in the world of technical analysis. That being the pink line there, which on my chart denotes the very well-known, the very famous 200-period moving average. So good to see that the price has at least started to go sideways at that area. But that's certainly going to be a very important level to watch moving forward over the next couple of days. Because if the price does break below it and then continues to separate, the further down below that pink line the price gets, that's just the more evidence that, yeah, the party's over and the bears are back in control. And depending on how far it gets down below that level, that would be the amount of control that the bears have taken back over. Now, of course, you can argue, Clay, I don't know. The bears have already taken over control quite a bit, and I do do agree with that. I do understand what you're saying, but almost as kind of like the final nail in the coffin type of control. That's where that purple line, or excuse me, pink line is going to be, very, very important. So watch that 200 period moving average, and definitely a level that I would argue is, without doubt, a must-hold level would be right at 550, because if the price comes down to 550 and breaks through there, at that point, the price has literally gone right back to where it was before that big move right there. And I mean, not to insult your intelligence, but price movements that go back to where they were, not exactly a sign of true strength. So in my mind, 200 period moving average, 550, definitely the two main areas of support. If there is any sort of attempted bounce, then that key area of resistance is going to be right up there around $7.20. Next one here, ticker symbol RDUS. And for you longtime viewers of the top 10, whenever possible, I like to throw in an ugly looking chart, because as I say, there can be opportunity in the ugly. And while this is a very ugly looking chart right now, to think that the price was here, gapped all the way up there, and then after gapping up, moved all the way up there, and then to think there's some poor souls that bought at 23, to now have the thing all the way down here, things are looking pretty bad. But in my mind, at least, and I'm not saying this is going to work out, this is why risk management is important, because who knows, maybe this thing is just going to keep dumping and dumping and dumping. But an interesting area where I could see potentially a bounce. So this is not any sort of rational or irrational area. It's actually a very rational area, but right down there around 1635 for a couple of reasons. First off, you have a former resistance right there. And as general rules go, when levels of resistance are broken, they tend to act as support. And you also have that purple line there, which is around the same general vicinity, that 50 period moving average. Once more, does that mean the price is guaranteed to bounce from that area? No, there are no guarantees. But is this area some sort of just random dart throw area? Absolutely not. There is thought, there is rationality that is going behind this decision-making process here. So while that doesn't guarantee anything, it also ensures that you're not just making some sort of random decision. So if you do like to play pullbacks, if you like to play those situations where it seems like it's the end of the world and things will never go right again for the bulls, well then yeah, you might want to keep an eye on down there around that gap close location and see what happens with it. Who knows, maybe it doesn't and it reverses around before even getting down there. But like I said, this is totally one of those situations where if you like to try to make opportunities out of ugly situations, then this is one that I would say would want to be on your watch list. Next one here, ticker symbol HX, and a tricky chart just because the last 30 minutes, I mean, it didn't ruin the chart. I mean, that was a great last 30 minutes. I'm just saying from a technical point of view, yeah, it's no longer, you can't really call it a breakout play because, well, it broke out during that last 30 minutes. Now, again, this is a good problem to have if you're already in it because now it just becomes a question of, all right, breakout has happened, fantastic. Is this the start of something much bigger? Which is always a great question. I mean, think about it. You can't ask that question unless something happens in the first place. And in this situation, the breakout has happened. So now, okay, yeah, is this breakout the start of something much bigger? So if you're a breakout player, then yeah, you already missed the breakout. Now, depending on how you like to play breakouts, depending on your opinion in terms of playing momentum, maybe you're saying, no. I think I want to buy the momentum right there. Again, from my personal risk tolerance, that seems a little sketchy, but to be totally fair, maybe that's the wise move. Maybe it's wise to play the momentum. For people that are like, I'd like to try to wait for some sort of pullback here. Well, then a very well-defined pullback area is the bottom of this consolidation area before the breakout happened. And that was down there at the 1450 mark. So like I said, there's no right or wrong way to play things. It's all about your personal strategy, your risk tolerance levels. But what does make this tricky is for those breakout players, yeah, technically speaking, the breakout has already happened. But if you do like to maybe you're saying, no, Clay, but the breakout is happening just, it's just the start. So I'm still willing to buy up there. And all right, that's fine too. But moral of the story here is last 30 minutes, very, very impressive. I mean, the entire day was very impressive, but the last 30 minutes, that much more impressive. You got to think that there's going to be that many more eyeballs watching it on Thursday. So let's see if this momentum can continue. Next one here, ticker symbol SOS. And I mean, just for you people that like to play trends, I mean, talk about a great trend. You really can't get any better than this when it comes to higher lows. And now you have yourselves higher highs. So, I mean, if you're writing a textbook and looking for something in terms of uptrends, you could throw this one right in. So for uptrend, or if you like to, say, play the trends in this situation, uptrend, this is one that I would say belongs on the watch list. As far as key levels moving forward, the ideal level of support, I would say right here at $2.60. Ideal meaning, Clay, what would make this chart look the absolute best moving forward? And certainly if the price can stay above 260. Now, if the price drops below it, doesn't mean the entire chart's ruined, but it would still certainly make the overall chart and trend look the absolute strongest. But from the big picture point of view, as long as the price is above that purple line, then the overall trend is still perfectly fine because, again, that is the moving average, meaning that line's going to move itself higher and higher. So it's basically like a trend line that's going to draw itself for you. And then as far as areas of resistance are concerned, Got to squeeze things down here. Whoop, I guess I didn't need to go back that far. But as far as next potential battlegrounds are concerned, next level to keep an eye on moving forward, going to be right up there at $2.82. So let's see how the price behaves up around that area. But all in all, any way you look at it, very impressive uptrend. Next one here, ticker symbol CAN, and not only a great uptrend, but a very nice pattern here that formed. So we started the video with some patterns where it looks like we'll be here, ending the video with some patterns here too. But the main area of resistance to watch right there at $8.90. You can see right there has been a problem point on a couple of occasions right there. And then let's throw in the support portion, which you can see trend line right there. So just to keep things symmetrical, let's bring that down here. And also, again, let's make that green to represent the bullish part of the pattern. So we have that nice little ascending triangle, but when you factor everything in, meaning we have a resistance, we have our support, we have the momentum move right there, which again is what's forming the pull portion. Let's put our golf hole down there. We have ourselves another 30-minute bull pennant pattern. And you got to like that during this consolidation right here, the volume has dropped off quite a bit. So from a volume analysis standpoint, a lot of good stuff going on right there. So once again, just because it's a bullish pattern does not mean that for sure guaranteed the price is going to keep going up. Now, if the price does break to the upside, would that shock anybody? No, I don't think anybody would be shocked to see that a bull pennant produced a situation where the price now went higher. But once again, that's not a guaranteed situation, but it is more than valid. It's more than rational to think that, yeah, I think this thing could ultimately start to go higher based on the momentum, based on the pattern that's been formed today. So if you like to play patterns, and of course, specifically bull pennant patterns, then CAN looks like a quality candidate. So that wraps up the top 10. And again, I want to personally invite you that if you liked what you saw, if you're starting to see the power and you want to learn more about this tool of technical analysis and how it can be used to build consistency as a trader, then definitely get signed up for the class. Like I said, it'll be Thursday, October 21st at 7 p.m. Eastern time. So keep in mind the Eastern time. And like I said, there's several different ways you can get signed up. Description box on YouTube or someplace right on the webpage if you're watching this at my site. And then as far as these top 10 videos are concerned, if you enjoy this format, then please communicate that to me, because these videos do require a respectful amount of time and effort. And I have no problem putting in the time and effort to do them as long as I know that you are enjoying. And how can you communicate that you're enjoying them? Hit the like button, leave a basic comment, even if it's just saying hi, a number of your choosing, a ticker symbol that you're watching tomorrow. But those two things, like button and then leaving a basic comment, communicate to me that you're enjoying. As long as I know that's the case, then I have no problem at all continuing to do these videos. So your help in that regard is very much appreciated. Again, get signed up for the class if you want to learn how to build consistency with charts. But overall, hopefully you had a great day, and I'll see you back on Thursday.